Today's reflection is from guest contributor Flora X. Tang. Flora is a doctoral candidate in theology and peace studies at the University of Notre Dame. She is originally from Beijing, China and now lives in South Bend, Indiana. The liturgical readings for Palm Sunday can be found here. 6 years ago, in the middle of leading a Palm Sunday opening procession from the exterior of my church to the altar, I came out as queer. Or a better way to put it might be that I decided this liturgically-maximalist Palm Sunday procession would be the most fitting feast day that I could choose to commemorate every year as my coming out anniversary. With my lips chanting the familiar Hosana Filio David hymn and my right hand lazily waving a palm branch, I told myself, and perhaps also told God, that yes, I am queer, and that yes, I am loved. For several years before coming out, the experience of coming to terms with my sexuality was a slow and prayerful process of introspection and discernment. Unlike how movies about gay people might portray the experience of coming out, Hugh Love, Simon, this was never a clear-cut, lightbulb moment of realizing my sexuality with immediate certainty. But if realizing that I was queer was a confusing and drawn-out process, the idea of coming out was even more so. In both Catholic spaces and beyond, coming out as queer looked less like verbally declaring my sexuality to the entire world once and for all, and more like using a combination of hints and subtle cues to indicate my queerness to those I perceived as affirming, and to shielding queer parts of myself away from those who may not be so. Living as a queer person means navigating these never-ending uncertainties and subtleties on a daily basis. This dynamic was perhaps why selecting one of the most distinctly glorious and liturgically extravagant days of the liturgical year as the day to commemorate my coming out seemed fitting. On Palm Sunday, we read the Gospel of Jesus' glorious entrance into Jerusalem and his ultimate death on the cross. On Palm Sunday, we proclaim that God loves us, even to the point of God's own death. When on Palm Sunday I came out to myself and to God, I was certain, and rested comfortably in the certainty, that God loves me for who I am because He died for me. But today's Gospel reading, which this liturgical year is from the Gospel of Mark, tells a narrative where Jesus, having spent the majority of this Gospel hiding His identity as Messiah from His community, reveals Himself as the Messiah, and is then killed by the Roman authorities because of this scandalous revelation. His coming out results in violence. As an academic committed to nonviolence and peace, this perspective has made my relationship with Palm Sunday grow uncertain.